Thank you, Mark, and good morning to you all. I'm Grant Beringer, Barrick's Executive for Sustainability. At Barrick, our approach to business has always been differentiated, one that consistently unlocks value where others cannot, and fosters genuine partnerships in jurisdictions deemed too complex or challenging by many. This unique approach is fully reflected in how we view sustainability, a term that for us extends beyond the narrow confines of ESG. For years, Mark and I have been vocal in warning the industry that the direction of the prevailing ESG model is too reactive, short-sighted, and fraught with unintended consequences that are not understood. Far too often, the E, S, and G components have become fragmented, compliance-driven silos. ESG has become little more than a tick-the-box exercise, focused on abstract targets that will likely never be met. It is a game of optics, designed to keep investors happy without actually making a difference. This is where the industry has gone wrong. It has lost sight of what true sustainability is. At Barrick, we see things differently. We understand that sustainability is not a set of isolated targets. It's an integrated, long-term strategy that requires a comprehensive approach. While others are busy setting aspirational targets to placate the market and kick the can down the road, we're already delivering real impact in the communities where we operate. By aligning our work with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, we focus on all aspects, environmental, social, and economic, because they are interconnected. It's about addressing local context, creating actionable solutions, and delivering real-world results. That's how we lead, and that's how we are shaping the future of mining. It is this real, on-the-ground impact with a relentless focus on long-term value creation that I want to emphasize above all else today. At Barrick, we don't just talk about sustainability, we live it, and we're delivering results that will benefit generations to come. Mining, like any human activity, does have an environmental footprint, but it is critical that we approach global environmental concerns such as climate change, water scarcity, biodiversity loss, and socioeconomic challenges, not as isolated issues, but as part of a broader sustainability agenda. At Barrick, we emphasize that focusing solely on the environmental aspects for our operations, as is common in many Western markets, often overlooks the broader impact of our business. The true value of our work lies in its holistic nature. Take, for example, our support for Garamba National Park in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This is often hailed as a biodiversity project, and sure, we're proud of the success of reintroducing white rhinos into the park, but it's far more than that. This project is an interconnected story, a journey almost, one that involved the social aspects, the community, bringing peace to a troubled region and transformed a previously unstable and unsafe area into one where communities now have access to education, healthcare, and a chance for economic development through ecotourism. All of this has been made possible through the partnership of Barrick, local governments, communities, and traditional leaders. Barrick's investments do not stop with environmental projects, they extend to the energy and social initiatives that uplift communities. For instance, our clean energy projects, such as providing remote communities with renewable power for both mining operations and local use, are a perfect example of how we minimize our environmental impact, but also generate economic and social value in the process. The reality is this: the ESG world has been narrowly focused on environmental metrics while ignoring social issues. We are here to challenge that. Our philosophy is simple. Sustainability is most impactful when environmental and social issues are addressed simultaneously with solutions tailored to local needs and conditions. Mining is not just an economic driver. It has the power to catalyze broad positive change with both immediate effect and over a longer period, particularly in the world's most remote regions. At Barrick, we recognize that mining, when done responsibly, is one of the most powerful tools for poverty alleviation and socio-economic upliftment. And unlike others in the industry who measure success by flashy reports or investor-friendly targets, we measure it by the impact we make in the real world. These are the facts. We directly employ 26,000 people across 13 countries, with 97% of those employees being host country nationals, something few companies in our industry can match. In addition, Barrick has created over 28,000 contractor jobs, and the multiplier effect from these jobs is enormous, generating demand for goods, services, and creating even more employment. In 2023, we paid $2.8 billion to host governments in taxes and royalties alone, and $2 billion to employees. For the same period, we spent almost $7 billion on in-country procurement, supporting businesses and entrepreneurs in our host countries. We're not just creating jobs, we're creating economic ecosystems. In Mali, Barrick's operations have contributed a staggering $10 billion to the economy over the last 24 years. In the Dominican Republic, over the last 10 years, we accounted for 15% of the total income tax paid by corporations. And in Papua New Guinea, we've paid over $1.7 billion in tax, excise duty, and dividends to the government since 1990. These are not just numbers, they're a testament to the transformative power of responsible mining and the execution of a holistic approach to sustainability. But the most profound impact comes not only from financial contributions, but from investing in the people who live in the communities surrounding our operations. We believe in the power of education as a means to break the cycle of poverty, which is why Barrick has partnered with NGOs like World Education to provide teacher training and support. These efforts have helped drive school pass rates in local areas to an impressive 91%, compared to just 64% in the surrounding regions. By tackling the fundamental human rights that many of us take for granted, access to quality healthcare, a clean environment, safe drinking water, and food security, we're not just addressing basic needs, but we're laying the foundation for a prosperous future for hundreds of thousands of people who have long been forgotten in the conversation about global progress. We are championing a bold, comprehensive approach that will not only lift entire communities out of poverty, but also create a future where prosperity is no longer reserved for the few, but shared by the many. Importantly, we place special emphasis on supporting women and the importance they play, recognizing that gender equality is a cornerstone of sustainable development. From ensuring girls attend primary school in Pakistan to skill-building initiatives in Nevada and women-led businesses in Mali, we are committed to empowering women and helping them access economic opportunities. Climate change and biodiversity loss are global issues, but the consequences will be felt most acutely by the world's most isolated and vulnerable. Barrick gets this and strives to take a balanced approach that considers both the need for climate and nature action and the need for economic development in areas that are still struggling with poverty. For nearly a decade, we have been leading the way in green energy at our Kibali mine in the DRC, where we have built hydroelectric power stations, not just for our operations, but to provide clean electricity to local communities as well. This is not a one-off project. It's part of our broader strategy to help build climate resilience, and it's working. Our investments in renewable energy are not just about reducing emissions, they're about giving communities the power they need to build a more sustainable future. We believe that the transition to a low-carbon economy cannot leave anyone behind. That's why we are working with our local partners to ensure they have the tools and infrastructure they need to weather the storm. And we're not waiting for governments and NGOs to act, we're doing it ourselves. Sustainability is not possible without a workforce, and that workforce must go home every day to their families and to their communities, safe and healthy. We know that safety is the foundation of all we do. We are unwavering in our commitment to zero harm, with the ultimate goal of eliminating fatalities and injuries across our operations. We have made significant strides in reducing incidents, but we know that one fatality is one too many. This journey to zero starts with leadership, engagement, and a culture that demands accountability at every level. We have redefined safety across the organization with a new set of fatal risk standards that must be met before any work can begin. This is not a suggestion, it is a requirement, and these standards are being rolled out across our sites, accompanied by rigorous training and oversight. Safety is more than a priority for us. It's a core value, and we're putting every ounce of our leadership behind it. How we close our mines is more than just a detail. It's a fundamental differentiator in how we create long-lasting value. At Barrick, we don't wait until the end to think about closure. We plan it before we even started designing the mine, because the truth is, just because a mine is no longer operational does not mean its impacts are gone. We approach mine closure with the same rigor, discipline, and vision that we apply to building and operating them. Sustainable closure is not a side project. It's a core part of our strategy. Reclamation and closure are not afterthoughts. They're integral to our commitment to responsible, long-term value. And unlike our competitors who are watching their liabilities balloon year after year, we are turning the tide. While others face rising environmental and reclamation costs, our proactive approach to understanding and mitigating closure risks is setting us apart. Since 2018, we've slashed our closure liabilities by more than $1 billion through relentless optimization, continuous review, and disciplined execution. We're not just managing risk, we're reducing it dramatically. Our North American legacy portfolio is brimming with opportunities for value creation. Over the last 5 years, we've been persistently refining and optimizing it through strategic divestitures, fine-tuning post-closure management plans, and forging stronger relationships with the local communities and stakeholders. We've set a bold goal to reduce liabilities by 80% in the next decade by eliminating the costly, long-term environmental liabilities like active water treatment, turning them into real, sustainable solutions. Barrick doesn't just talk about responsible closure, we're out there making it happen. Our commitment to owning, understanding, and actively managing long-term closure risks ensures that we leave behind resilient, post-closure conditions where value can be realized long after the mine has closed. Most importantly, we are protecting our social license to operate by making sure we do not leave communities to shoulder the burden. While others are scrambling to catch up, Barrick is leading the way. It is clear that the world of ESG is at a crossroads, and reality is setting in. The obsession with ratings, rankings, and box ticking from offices far removed from the reality on the ground has led to empty promises, and most concerning for me, lost opportunities for real-life change. It has become an ecosystem that reinforces the inaction, particularly in those regions that need change the most, and polarizes the haves and the have-nots even further. Many investors are starting to see through the smoke and mirrors, and they're walking away from the ESG game because it's become too politicized and fragmented and lost sight of its first principles. At Barrick, we've never wavered from our belief that sustainability is about action, not words, and we're proving it every single day in the communities where we operate. We're leading the charge by sticking to our strategy of holistic, integrated sustainability, by staying true to the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, and by delivering results that matter. And if the last number of years of our sustained delivery in community and environmental upliftment is not evidence enough, then you are all in the fortunate position of having front row seats to witness how we will impact one of the most remote and forgotten parts of the world through our Reko Diq project in Pakistan. In fact, we've already started changing the lives of people in this corner of Balochistan. We have invested in education even before a single shovel has hit the ground, with children, both boys and girls, now able to attend primary school, something they've not had the opportunity to do for more than a decade, or through the health facilities and access to water treatment that will increase the low life expectancy. We will not compromise on our principles and will continue to do what others are too afraid to do: create real, lasting change. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you. I'll now hand over to Christine to take you through our North American operations.